Well, everyone, welcome to World at War Comics. My next special guest is Mr. Axel Alonso, founder, chief creative officer, AWA. Man, it's such a pleasure to have you here. I had the pleasure of sitting with you at the table at San Diego Comic-Con. I went to the panel with Ronda Rousey, and it was just such a pleasure to meet you. And then you got so much experience even before that of editor-in-chief, and you've worked on some of the top titles in some of the biggest publishers. And then to start your own, and I was telling you before we started, the stack of AWA that I pulled out of my box. I'm just a big fan. I love kind of the format that you use of 4 issues, 6 issues, and then we wait till the next year to maybe build on that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm talking too much. I'm just really excited to talk to you. Axel, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. So let's get into it a little bit, man. I would love to go to your backstory and where this passion for storytelling started in your life. Like some people have a person, or maybe it was just an environment that you were in that got you into storytelling and then comics eventually.
Sure. Well, I grew up in San Francisco. My dad is Mexican. My mom is English. They're both immigrants. My dad is an artist, so he would take me to museums all the time to look at art and draw art. And he encouraged me to draw at the museum. He would ask people, "How much you buy this for?" in a museum, and they would say 5 cents, 25 cents, and he'd give me the money. So he learned me the value of selling your art. And my mom was a librarian. She taught me reading. I was all about reading with her. So they kind of complement one another, getting me on board with reading. And comics are a combination of words and art. So yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. And then what was your first like professional gig when you really jumped into comics? And how did you know that comics was going to be that platform for you in order to express that artistic side of you?
Well, what happened? I was a journalist when I saw an
That's right.
ad in the New York Times. They were hiring editors at DC Comic Books. So I sent him my resume. I got an interview with the editor, the late Lou Stathis. He said when I walked in, "I wanted to meet you." I said, "Why?" He says, "Well, you wrote an article I read in the Daily News about the use of the cannabis leaf in pop culture. And one of the guys you interviewed was the editor-in-chief of High Times magazine, who stole my girlfriend. And you made him look like the idiot he is. I want to meet you." I'm like, ah. So he offered me the job. I wasn't sure I wanted it because the pay was so awful. I took it as an associate editor at Vertigo, and then I rose through the ranks as senior editor.
Yeah.
About 5 years. I was there for 5 years. Yeah.
5 years, yeah. And then we know you went to Marvel and you rose the
Yeah.
ranks to editor-in-chief there. And then what year did we come? I think it was 2019 is when the birth of AWA came forth.
Yes.
So right before the pandemic.
Yeah, right before we were formed and founded in 2018. We published in 2019. Our first books hit the stand the moment the store shut down. So it was Resistance #1, Year Zero, Hotel, and Red Border #1. So what we did is we decided that we wanted people to know our books were good. So we got them out as on digital format as webtoons. People could read them. People saw they were good. So the stores reopened sooner than expected. The book sold out.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, how rough? I mean, I think every publisher, on one hand, it was rough. I will tell you in California, it was a little bit more locked down, a little bit longer, but we were able to like pull in front of our comic book store and they would bring out our box. And so there wasn't that much of a gap for me as a comic book reader from my comic book store. I don't know if that was the same case for most people, but did you see sales start to rise even though there was lockdowns, or you didn't see it until everything kind of opened up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we reflect the larger trend in comic books as a whole, which is that, first of all, people concluded once again that comic books were going to die during COVID. They prospered during COVID. And then when we came out of COVID, it took a while to get back on track. And I think things are kind of sluggish for everybody right now, including Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
But again, it's a cyclical thing with comics. It just goes up and down, up and down.
Yeah. I've heard other people say it's like the 20-year thing. Like about every 20 years, it's almost like someone hits a reset button and then it explodes, and then you have this growth, and then you have this decline, and then another 20 years, and it seems like it just goes like this, like that. You agree with that?
Yeah, I do. And also, I think that the fact that digital comic books are becoming bigger, it's a complement to the print. Many people think it will replace print. I don't think so. In music, I get it. All my music is on my iPhone.
Yeah.
In the cloud. With comic books and books, sometimes you want on your stand. I mean, I want the book on my stand. I want a book on my stand.
Yeah.
It's different to have a book on your stand than in your phone. So I think the key thing is that I think print will always stick around, and comics will all be around in some format, variety of
Yeah.
formats.
Yeah, agree. I feel like I don't know what you feel about the omnibus or the trade compared to the floppy, but we're really North America is kind of the only place that's kind of the predominant. And if you go to like Europe, it's really trades and
Yes,
larger. Do you think one day that will kind of, with all of your experience as editor in chief and all the things that
I
you've
would
done, do
love
you think
it.
you'll ever? Oh, would you? You'd prefer that?
I would love it
Yeah.
because again, writing as a periodical in 20-page increments is a challenge. Also, it's the grind of getting out every month. Also, it's having to write incrementally. It puts constraints. When you do a graphic novel, you can tell the whole story
Yeah.
in one story in one sitting. So the reader can decide to binge it and finish it if they want.
Yeah. You
I
think
prefer the
we'll
format.
do you think we'll go there eventually as a country, or do you think floppies will always kind of be king here just because of the collectability and it's
I
such a big part of our
Yeah,
culture?
yeah. I agree. I think floppies will always be around, but I think you see a growing trend. The area of growth in the market as a whole is trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, having a volume on your in your library. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'll move that direction, but I don't think floppies will ever be obsolete.
Yeah.
Not because of trades or because of digital. They'll always
Yeah.
survive because collectability is such an aspect of what we do.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why there's always variants, right? With all these amazing
Yeah.
artists that I'm a hook, you hook me every time it happens. So
And also, it's the monthly fix thing.
yeah,
Having
for
the
sure.
monthly fix of your favorite character, your favorite story, your favorite
Yeah.
writer.
Yeah. No,
It's
completely
fun. Yeah.
true. Completely true. Well, it looks like Ronda Rousey went the direction that you prefer, and
Yeah.
she has the trade that's coming out. The Kickstarter is going on right now.
Yep.
Obviously, extremely successful, but there's plenty of time for people to jump in if they haven't jumped in yet. But yeah, it was absolutely an incredible experience being able to be at San Diego Comic-Con and getting all the Kickstarter information. And I thought the team at AWA did such a great job of just the awareness. I mean, I guess when you have Ronda Rousey following you
Yeah.
around, that helps a little bit too, right? Because me myself, I'm there's two things I love in life: UFC and comic books.
Oh,
And
there you go.
UFC is the only connecting thing that my wife and I have because she hates comic books. She just doesn't
Yeah.
understand it. And in fact, everything I own, comic related, has to stay in this room, is not allowed to leave the room, which is why I'm like moving more toward trade and omnibus because
Yeah.
it's just space, right? But yeah, I mean, it was such an amazing experience and treat. Can you kind of walk through, like, how did this all happen? Like, how did you get a hold of
Sure. Yeah.
Rhonda? How did you know that she had this interest? And then how did you win over other publishers that ability to connect with her?
Well, what happened was it was last year at this time at San Diego Comic-Con that an associate of Rhonda's business partner approached me and said, "Hey, listen, Ronda Rousey and her partner want to talk with you." So I thought, Ronda Rousey? I figured she wanted us to talk about making a comic book about her. I was wrong. I get on the phone with her partner, Jason Navarre. He says, Ronda wrote a script. He told me the concept. It's about a pregnant assassin who has to decide if she wants to bring the baby into the world and wants to kill her in it. Will she choose life over death? So I thought to myself, that's an amazing concept. Please, God, let the script be decent. I got the script expecting a freshman effort. It blew me out of the water. It was amazing. It was funny. It was really sophisticated. It was nuanced. It was clear she'd worked it for months to get to the point that it got to me. It was not a first draft by any means. I was thoroughly entertained. She creates an amazing universe of very self-aware, nerdy assassins. Again, in the world of John Wick, it's a universe of assassins. They're all really super cool and humorless.
Yeah.
This is the opposite. They're
Yeah.
all nerds. They're all very self-aware nerds that are just always posing for the camera, competing with one another, trying to come up with the coolest way, like wrestlers or fighters, come with a new technique for the cameras. So it's funny. But I read the script, I was blown away. I got on Zoom with her. I was really nervous. I mean, it's fucking Ronda Rousey.
Exactly.
I get on the Zoom with her. She's nervous to meet me, and she can't believe I love the script so much. I'm like it. I fucking loved it. I want to be the dad. I'm the dad. I'm the dad. Let's make this happen. So I begged her, and then I went to my partner and said, "We have to do this." I walked them through the script. I gave the script to my partners there. They all loved it as well. They saw what I saw. They needed no convincing, and Rhonda needed no convincing either because she knew who I was. She liked what we were doing already. I said, "Listen, trust me. I'm the one will have to live with this baby with you. I have to be along for the ride. I will do you right, starting with my Fiodato.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh my God, yes." So at that point, then I had my team. Diodato, when I went to Diodato, I said, "Ronda Rousey wrote a script. You want to read it?" He says, "Hell yeah!" And then he's also a martial artist too, a black belt in karate. So he said, "I am a black belt. She is the force of nature." So he was an admirer. The thing is that I want to be clear though, this is not stargazing.
Yeah.
If it was a bad script, I wouldn't want to do it.
Right.
It's a really, really, really good script. It's very on brand for her. It's very pertinent. She writes about what she knows. Being a
Yeah.
mother and being someone that the world wants is out to kill, as they did after her loss to Holly Holmes,
Yeah.
Everyone that loves you wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Do you want to bring a child? So for me, what it's appealing about the book is that it's a really ultra violent black comedy, but inside of it is a urine stained rom-com
Yeah.
because our protagonist is pregnant. She has to pee every 5 minutes, and she has to swallow her pride and go to the dad to get help to deal with this endless wave of assassins who want to kill her. One of my favorite gags is every time she goes to the bathroom, which is often, she'll go to the bathroom. When she leaves, there'll be 10 dead assassins in the bathroom behind her. It's hilarious. And every single fight scene is carefully choreographed by Ronda. For people that buy the book, understand this is a interactive experience. When you read the book, with every fight scene, there'll be a QR code you can click on with your phone and see a video of Ronda acting out the fight scene for the cameras in her studio.
So amazing.
The stuntman to show you this is how it happens. Because her pet peeve is watching fight scenes in movies and go, that couldn't happen that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the body doesn't work that way. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
So she choreographs every fight scene is choreographed and filmed for
Yeah.
the viewing pleasure of the reader. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is incredible. And at the panel, all the fans in attendance were given an opportunity to see some of those choreographed scenes, which was a lot of fun. And then obviously having Mike being a black belt himself and understanding the posture,
Exactly.
what a kick looks like. I mean, you have two black belts, right? She's a judo and black belt in judo. He's a black belt in karate.
Right.
What I find really amazing about Ronda and how like the diversity of experience that she has, right? She goes through high school, straight from high school, she's trains for the Olympics, becomes a bronze medalist, then goes in the UFC, dominates. She's considered one of the top women ever to fight within the UFC.
Without doubt.
Ever. And then she goes into the WWE and takes all that real fighting training and becomes, I think she was a 5-time champion in WWE. So any fans that love her on the WWE side, just know that when you see some of these fight scenes, because we got a little snapshot, a lot of those fight scenes were choreographed with other WWE stars. So we won't say any names. I think it would be kind of fun to click the QR code and let them figure that out. They're going to know exactly who these people are because they're big stars. But she called on some of her WWE partners to come help her with the choreographing of that. And also her husband is a pretty badass fighter himself.
Yeah, heavyweight.
Travis, Travis Brown. Yeah, he's not someone they want to mess with either. So
no, he's like 6'6",
yeah. So I mean, it's just incredible to see someone like a Ronda Rousey. You would never expect this kind of a skill set that would come forth from someone whose whole life has been in the fight game, and yet she's brilliant, right? She even, I think, mentioned she sold a screenplay right before she brought this to you, correct?
No, just after.
Oh, just after. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah. The thing is that Ronda learned a lot about storytelling with the WWE because, of course, the WWE is not real. Yeah. Really, it's a break it to you, but it's not real. It's all staged. It's all storytelling. Yeah. So every fight is a story. So she learned about storytelling at the WWE, about the staging of fights, and also building peaks and valleys. The value of the heel, all the rest. So she essentially took all of that. Plus, also, her assassins are modeled on WWE wrestlers because not only in the way they look, but the way they act. Because she says they're all a bunch of nerds. They're all, they're huge. They could fight, but they're all nerdy as hell. They're all about B movies and comic books, and they're all very self-aware and they're very catty and competing with one another. So she modeled her assassins, her League of Assassins, on the WWE fighters she met.
Yeah. Being able to sit at that little round table and be part of the intimate interview, you don't realize what a nerd she kind of is until she
Yeah.
starts talking about Pokemon and Powerball. And I mean, she just went on and on about all these things that she grew up with that we're all familiar with. And you're like, wow,
Oh
she
yeah,
really is one of us. And so, like, if
without a
you're
doubt.
thinking, like, here is someone outside of what we normally do coming in, you're wrong, man. She is well versed in the universes that we all love, and she grew up the same way we all did, playing nerdy board games and Pokemon and everything else. I mean, she's incredible.
Exactly. And the character she plays in the book, Mom, the assassin, is the same thing.
It's awesome.
She's Ronda cubed. She's a deadly
Yeah.
assassin who's a total movie and comic book nerd who
Yeah.
references movies throughout the entire book. She references movies when she's killing assassins, which she throughout the movie. One of her connections to the assassin who impregnates her, played by her by Ronda's husband, Travis, is he's
Yes.
also a nerd. So
Yeah.
they click on the nerdiness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fanboys and fangirls who are assassins. You know, it's funny.
Well, maybe it'd be okay. I just want to pull up the Kickstarter just so everyone can see
Yeah,
it real
please
quick
do.
while we're together. Axel, is that okay? Let me
Of course, please do.
bear with me. I'm going to pull up the screen. That way people could take a look at it. And then I would love to kind of talk about what's coming up next with AWA too. I want to be super respectful of your time, Axel. I really appreciate
sure.
you spending some time with me. But here is the Kickstarter. And you can see there's 18 days to go. Just so many different options from a consumer experience to be able to dive right into expecting the unexpected. And you know, from my understanding, you know, she's all in on this story, right? And so
she's promoting the hell of it. We have lots of media coming in the coming week. We have media, TV, podcasts, you name it, all over. We've been in Sports Illustrated and Fortune, you name it. People are very intrigued by this. It's her third chapter, her third act, you know?
Yeah.
But also for the Kickstarter, we have many tiers. We have the cheapest tier for $20. You get the digital. You move your way up into the trade, into the hardcover. Also, if you really are a super fan with a bit of money in your pocket, you could get drawn into the comic book as an assassin. So if you want to be either beaten up or killed by Ronda in this book, act now.
Act now, yeah.
You can buy one and be killed in the book by Ronda. You'll be an assassin in the book. You'll be immortal and killed at the same time in the book.
I love it. That is such a cool option too. So it comes in softback, comes in hardcover. Excuse me, there is
it's an oversized hardcover. Yeah, or oversized hardcover. So it's beautiful to showcase the art. It's oversized, like a European edition. A hardcover, the slipcase edition. We've got 3 covers: a Diodato cover, a Rosa cover that you see there, and a Frank Cho wrapper cover.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and that's colored. Frank Cho's cover is colored. That's the black and white version of it now.
Yeah, amazing, and it's. I mean, like, you're getting a full story for such an excellent price too. Because normally on Kickstarter, right? And like you said, a lot of Kickstarters are graphic novels. Still a lot of floppies on there, but you're usually getting 48 to maybe 96 pages. So this is a really hefty story that you're getting right off the bat. That's going to have a lot of depth to it, a lot of fight scenes. I mean, it's incredible.
It's 160-page story, which is basically the 8 comic books. So it's essentially it's 160 pages of story plus added value features as well. And we've got QR codes throughout with commentary from Ronda, from Mike, behind the scenes features, and also, as I mentioned, the choreography for the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Every fight scene has got a video to show you how she did it. How it can be done.
It's so amazing. I mean, what a great idea. And then you got bundles where you just keep adding and adding all the different kind of collectibles that are available.
T-shirts, stickers, you name it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, incredible. And here is this the sketch one? Well, yeah, that is so cool, man.
Diodato, who does most of his art digitally, so it's hard to get line art from him. It's a really special thing to get line art from him. You'll get a sketch in a sketch bundle.
Yeah, incredible. And here's the one that you're talking about where you get drawn in, which is so cool, man. So cool. I might have to sell some of my toys to be able to do this one, Axel, but it might be worth it.
Once you purchase the tier, you send us a few photos of yourself, and we draw you into the book as an assassin.
That's awesome, man. So cool. And
if the assassin is already drawn, we redraw him or her to look like you. And
Oh
again,
wow.
him or her, because it's male and female assassins.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the star, right, is Ronda in this. So
Yeah.
you got a female-led assassin that is just kicking butt everywhere, and I think it's such a great storyline. Congratulations on this. This is amazing.
Thanks a lot.
What an amazing hit for AWA. I mean, you already have so many hits. I will tell you, my probably I don't know, Red Zone, the Joneses, anything from Mike is incredible. But the one that I really fell in love with is Erratic, and I see
Oh yeah, Carrie Andrews. Yeah.
I've had Carrie Andrews on the podcast before because I love his art. I think his art
Oh,
is
he's
some of the
amazing.
best art. But this comic book is amazing. I've been begging for a third season of it. He's like, I don't know if we're gonna go that route or not. But I'm like, come on,
We might. Yeah.
It's just so good, right? And then obviously Trojan. I had Daniel on, and this is
Daniel
really
Krause, yeah.
super heartfelt. And it kind of tugs at your heartstrings a little bit. Just really good
Star's
stuff.
on the rise too. He's on the rise now. My God, it's amazing what he's accomplished these days. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean his novel that he wrote, the one about the whales, is, I mean,
Willfall. Yeah.
Willfall. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
It's an amazing horror story with the father-son story in the core of it. Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
So what do you focus on mainly at AWA? I like from a collector's or a reader's perspective, right? It seems like AWA's thing is really 4 to 6 issue arcs on stories, really no ongoing. Often, right? Or it's not kind of part of your DNA, right?
We haven't built ongoings because that becomes a grind, production grind. What we've done is we do stories that have a beginning, a middle, and an end that function as a season, like a season of TV, and then we come back with a second. Like Year Zero had volumes 1 and 2, and then went back in time to the prequel, volume 0. Hotel did volumes 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Devil's Highway did volumes 1 and 2. Maybe a third is coming. So we did. Resistance had 3 volumes plus spin-offs.
Lots of spin-offs
in the universe. Yeah. So the goal is to do good stories and then make franchises, but to do it where you could tell it with one creative team in one full sitting.
Yeah. And that really kind of sets you apart. I mean, I think there's other publishers that kind of have that, but for the most part, that is like, when I think of that kind of a way of publishing, that's AWA all over. Right, you guys own kind of that model, and done very well with it. Done very well.
Also, now we're doing a lot more in the area of one-shots too. I'm a huge fan of the Told in One shot, which is a novella, not a novel. You can accomplish a lot in a one-shot. So we have a series of one-shots coming out. As we announced, we have a deal with Roy Lee and Vertigo Entertainment. He's the biggest producer of horror right now. The studios chase him. We have a deal with them now. We're doing 4 graphic novellas that are being co-curated by him and me, with writers and artists of our choosing, to put together as 4 one-shots. We're deciding now whether to do it as one-shots or as one volume, an anthology. At the point.
Yeah. Now, how often has AWA used Kickstarter as a platform for a title?
This is the first. We did reprints of special editions of Fight Girls and Marjorie Finnegan.
Yeah.
Expecting it's our first time launching as a Kickstarter, because we thought that with Ronda's fan base being what it is, we want to go out to the fans, the largest group of fans possible, and we have to be able to tap into her fandom, which is international, and spans, as you put it, UFC and MMA, and UFC and WWE. So we want to make sure we hit all the fans. Also, we wanted to be able to give the full experience with the added value features. And Kickstarter, you can do that. You can turn a graphic novel. Also, at some point, this book will end up months later in the direct market in bookstores. Not the same book, not the same oversized format book, but an edition will go out for larger consumption. I can only imagine the lines. I can only imagine the lines at the comic book stores and bookstores when Ronda signs those.
Oh yeah.
At Barnes and Noble in Manhattan, when she was signing her book. Oh my God, the line was around the block.
Yeah. I mean, just from a marketing standpoint, she's been very genius of how she's handled her brand by doing what she did in the UFC, obviously, and then taking that success and going to WWE, where you've seen other fighters do that. You've seen vice versa as well. And boy, they just have different populations. I'm sure there's some overlap, but those are really 2 different populations. And that's pretty brilliant to go to Kickstarter in order to tap into all of those folks.
Yeah, it made sense for us. And we have We're working now with another Kickstarter now. A book will launch as a Kickstarter. We'll be announcing very soon for similar reasons, because we're working with someone who has a massive fan base that they can reach.
Gotcha.
Better through the Kickstarter than it's going to direct market and hoping.
Yeah.
Also, with this one, we have a lot of tie-in stuff that's just going to really sing. We could put one edition right to the fans.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
We're always going to be direct market too, though. We're not abandoning the direct market. We're just diversifying what we do.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, you have to, right?
Yeah.
And then
what
is? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what does overseas sales look like for you? Because I know a lot of people have been focusing in other markets, not all markets, but I've heard the French market is an extremely good market for comic books. And yeah, so how are you handling that from an AWA standpoint?
Real good, because the books we do appeal to our European market, much the same way as the Vertigo books I edited appeal to the European market, or some of the more high-end Marvel stuff I did with S. Ribic, for instance, or the Riso did well in overseas. So Frank Cho and Garth Ennis especially sold very well over there as Straczynski. Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Many of the artists we work with are European, so they're European style, like Dalibor Talchik. So that's also appealing overseas as well.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense to ensure that you're diversifying the countries that you're focusing on. You have to. I mean, everybody else is doing it, right? So you have to do that. And it's such a great market. And like you said, it's different. And it's probably in the way that you prefer, because it's a little bit simpler probably to send trades overseas than it is floppies, right?
Yeah.
Which are really not very prevalent in the UK and France.
I expect that we collect unexpected for larger distribution. We'll probably have to do a Philippine edition. You follow me? And editions where she's really popular, Brazilian edition.
Oh, yeah. Brazil for sure. Yeah.
Because people will want the book in those markets without a doubt.
Yeah.
So we can give them an affordable. Now, just to be clear to the Kickstarter buyers, this book will be separate and not the same level of quality in terms of printing. The Kickstarter book is oversized edition, only available through Kickstarter for the next 30 days. The edition we're going to get to the larger market down the road will be a different edition.
Yeah.
Oversized.
That's amazing. And then can you talk about adaptation into either TV and or film, and how much do you focus on that as a publisher, or is that kind of secondary, and if it happens, it happens? Because some publishers really focus in that area, some don't. I would love to know your perspective, Axel, on how you handle that with your titles.
I'm a comic book editor. I'm not a movie producer. So just like I was at Vertigo or at Marvel, I focus on telling a story in a graphic novel format. That is what I do. But I always think to myself, as I did at Marvel, who's the audience beyond the Wednesday Warriors? When I got to Marvel in 2000, I thought Black Panther's the closest superhero we got. We need to double down on him and make him cool. In world hip hop reigns, Black Panther's a huge character. Don't sleep on him. Punisher, I thought was a really great crime book. Not a superhero book. So I think what you have to do is look beyond the comic book market that exists at the larger market, larger audience. So for me, I always focus on the larger audience. So with these books, I try and do good stories that I think have potential beyond the comic book page. But if you think about it, nobody makes a comic book saying, "Oh my God, please don't make a movie."
Yeah.
No one does.
Yeah.
What they say is, they want the comic book to sell, but no one wants it to end there. We love the idea of telling stories that can live beyond the comic book page, but my pride is making the comic book.
Yeah. And
the thing is, we have a lot of success with the IP at this point. We sold to a number of studios now. We can't announce it; they announce it, not us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, Axel, I mean, how could people get more information if they want to follow AWA?
Go to www.awastudios.com.
Yeah.
Check out our site, see what we're up to. Check out the Kickstarter now. Get a book now while you can. And if you want to be in the book, act now.
Yeah.
Because you can still be drawn into the book, and you can hold up a book in which you can say, "Hey guys, check it out. Ronda Rousey killed me on page 7.
Yeah.
I got killed on page 45. Look, she chopped off my head. Or look, she stabbed me. And this guy over here with a spear. She blew me up. That kind of thing.
I love it. I think that's such a cool idea. I love it.
So save your pennies, but also there's a lot of cheaper options. We want to make sure there's a lot of options for everybody. When you go to a baseball game, you got a decision.
Yeah.
You sit in the cheap seats, or you want to sit down up front.
Exactly. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll make sure I put all the links below to make it super simple for everybody to go to the Kickstarter first, obviously to AWA Studios. I'll make sure I put all your social links down there. That's how I gain all my information of AWA. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Wish you the best weekend, my friend, and hope we can do this again.
Without a doubt. Thanks, bro. Take care.
Thank you, Axel.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye now. Take care.
Bye-bye.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.